So, last year, I'm sitting in the office, a shop house in Neil Road, gently stuffing a 23-page handwritten letter into an envelope and sweating from every pore in my body, just about. Not because the boss wouldn't pay for AC, because this was a profoundly personal letter to my ex, and she could have been the love of my life, and this was a last-ditch attempt to win her back. Now, even though I was optimistic, I was also kind of nervous because, of course, the courier was late. And thankfully, they arrived just in the nick of time. So I handed over the letter and sent it on its way. Now, let's rewind a bit. I'll tell you how it came about. Back in April last year, my ex and I broke up. And man, I was crushed. It made me do some really, really emotional things. For example, I am no comedian, but I thought it would be a good idea to write a stand-up show called I Love My Ex So Much It's Not Funny. Imagine Seinfeld, you know when he does his thing at the start? Except instead of pre-recorded laughter, it has pre-recorded crying. Why, I don't know. But anyway, glad I didn't do that. Fast forward a little while later, back in the office again, it's Friday afternoon. Everyone in the office is singing karaoke at the bar, having an awesome time. And a mildly romantic song came on. Honestly, I can't even remember what it was. It could have been Justin Bieber. It could have been Metallica. I have no idea. But I lost it. I started bawling my eyes out in front of everyone, including the managing director. Seriously, so this pain was real. And it was around that time that I decided to go and see a relationship counsellor. Let's call her Dr. Y. I wanted to know why I couldn't make this relationship work. I'm thoughtful. I'm romantic. I'm way more awkward than Hugh Grant dancing around his office in Love Actually. Yeah. So, not everyone remembers that scene, obviously. Anyway, Dr. Y said when I first sat down in her office, my aim was ultra clear. I wanted to write a letter to my ex and win her back. And she said, okay, fine, Callum, but you must promise to do it slowly. Impatient as I was, I agreed, and I did. Session by session, week by week, I kept going. And gradually, I started to get a greater sense of emotional awareness, partly because Dr. Y helped me answer all the right questions, such as, do you know anything about attachment styles? I'm like, no, I don't. So we dove deep into that, into my past, into my personality, and into my relationships to try and uncover why an emotional person like me had problem expressing those emotions and why commitment was challenging. Now, eventually it all clicked when I was reading a book recommended by Dr. Y called Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? And I realized that it was my attachment style and my romantic ideals that were actually holding me back. I also realized exactly what I needed to write in the letter. Essentially, I just needed to express myself, to lean into my strengths and pour all those emotions out onto paper. Man, did I ever. I expressed myself so damn hard, I got a cramp in my hand. I'm not kidding. As I was lying there on the floor, writing this thing on the living room floor for about 3 hours, my handwriting deteriorated so much that even though I was being emotionally mature, it kind of looked like a child wrote it. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what happened with the letter, right? What happened? So, the following day after I sent it, bzzz, my phone buzzes. It was a message from my ex, and my heart leapt up into my mouth, and I almost couldn't even look at the screen, but I flipped open my phone, stared down at it, and saw this message. It was beautiful. Beautiful, tender message that said, I'm really sorry, Cal. I can't. I'm seeing someone else. And I was crushed again. But not like Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones. You know when the mountain is like gouging his thumbs into his eyeballs so damn hard that poof, his brain explodes out the back of his head? Not like that. Because even though the original intention of the letter was a failure, ultimately it was a massive success. Huge. Because it helped transform me from a hopeless romantic into a much, much more hopeful one, with a new attitude towards love, to life and relationships. I used to fear commitment. Now I crave it. And I'm so much more calm and confident about what will come next. So, here I am, doing stand-up after all. Totally happy to be vulnerable in front of you all, because even though I'm still a long way from true love, I'm a lot closer than I've ever been before. Thanks for listening. Happy Valentine's Day.